Welcome everybody to Two Guys and Some Records, where there's two guys and some records.
Okay, so Chris signing on. Today we have the Marshall Tucker Band, which apparently is relatively popular. Or
I've heard of them before. I'm not really familiar with their songs, but I've heard of the Marshall Tucker Band.
But yep, the Marshall Tucker Band and
the Long Hard Ride.
I like where this is going.
So I'm gonna drop the needle here. Let's see if we can catch this.
I mean, it's fair because we got quite the chariot.
Little jump.
That's okay. We're getting into it. So side one, we got is the Long Hard Ride.
So we're doing the Long Hard Ride right now. Ooh, is that a whip?
I think it was.
That was sick. All right, so if you notice on the cover, you kind of have a caravan. Western. Yeah, like a western, like a
Oregon Trail.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
So you get the Wells Fargo. You know where they had the coach drawn by. There's 6 horses there. Very. Yeah, country western Clint Eastwood style.
We have we have what looks like a frothy river.
I like that. Get it going. So this is the Long Hard Ride from Marshall Tucker Band. Was produced in, I believe, 1976. Judging by the back, very kind of. I wouldn't say a well put together band, but probably just a group of guys that just like music and started playing together.
Which is how most bands start. Yeah. We got some interesting
so is there
musician faces here.
We have a guy, I don't know who this is. Can we find out who the singer of the Marshall Tucker Band? Is it Marshall Tucker? Because this track actually has no lyrics yet. Right?
Not yet.
So this is interesting. If they have a singer, why isn't he on this track?
They do have a vocalist. His name is Doug Gray.
Doug Gray was not on the Long Hard Ride. But hell, I'm digging this song. I like this.
Unless there's some sort of guest appearance at the end for a brief moment.
He's the one cracking the whip.
This guy looks like he's nutting into his guitar. Like,
does that look like Hank Williams Jr.?
This guy?
Yeah, that's not him, right?
Nah.
What's the name under it? You say the name right here.
Toy Caldwell.
Oh, all right. What else?
Tommy Caldwell also. Oh
Brothers.
No, Tommy Caldwell's on bass. Okay. Doug Gray. Yeah, it says Doug Gray right under here.
And what is that saxophone?
On the sax,
Jerry Eubox.
I have Marcus Henderson on the sax, flute, and keyboards.
No, this one we got a different one.
Well, no, Jerry.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Jerry is the flutist.
Alright, let's go.
The Marshall Tucker Band. Toy Caldwell, lead electric and acoustic guitars, steel guitar, lead vocals on Property Line. Tommy Caldwell, bass and harmony vocals. Doug Gray, lead vocals and percussion. Jerry Eubox, flute, saxes, harmony vocals. George McCorkle. Yep. Rhythm, electric, and acoustic guitars. First lead guitar solo on You Say You Love Me. Da da da. Paul T. Riddle, drums. That's it. Get it, Paul. Guest musicians, though.
Is it like the fiddle? Because there's some bad fiddle going on here.
Charlie Daniels. Fiddle.
Yeah, there you go, Charlie. Get it. This dude's going nuts. I like
Charlie
this.
Fiddle. Charlie Daniels actually appears through the courtesy of Buddha Records.
Was this song in Tombstone? Because this is all I'm thinking. Like when I heard this song, the only thing I'm thinking is the movie Tombstone from the early '90s, like '93.
It's a good movie.
They call themselves American Southern Rock.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably right alongside Leonard Skinner, right? It's probably that style.
Jerome Joseph on the congas. Paul Hornsby, piano and organ. I don't see anything about that person you mentioned.
My information was actually newer.
Oh, maybe he left.
That you were right. He did leave in 2009. The band is still together.
Really?
And
Wow.
I mentioned the newer.
When did they form the band?
In the early 70s, so.
Yeah, 'cause this one was 76, correct?
Yeah.
So 76 when this album came out.
Yeah.
By Capricorn Records. Pretty cool. On the actual record itself is a picture of like just a Capricorn.
They actually have a very nice website.
Well, yeah, if they've been around for like the last 50 years, I would hope so.
It's pretty well done here.
Yeah, pretty modern website. Hey, it's all like the same guys, just aged 50 years later.
45.
Same O faces when they're playing their music.
Yep. So if you check out the album here, you got kind of some of the similar faces, and you go on the website, you can actually see them aged pretty much exactly like in this formation right here. It's pretty cool. Check it out. But yeah, it's very southern. It's got that country twang.
Yes, definitely southern. Definitely country.
So I wonder what the first track and the title track, The Long Hard Ride, was very like country western movie.
Is this still the first track?
No, this is, we're on the second one now. This one is
I didn't even hear the break.
this is Property Line.
Oh.
Yeah, get off my
Oh no,
lawn.
I did hear the break. My apologies.
Yeah,
I remember now.
The other one was crazy. It had like whips and fiddles. And
Yeah, whips. The whips were making a solid appearance in that last
I'm telling you, that had to be a Tombstone. Because that was like, the only thing that was going through my head was Tombstone.
Well, I mean,
But I don't know, Tombstone was also like Bon Jovi.
yeah, Tombstone was
Right,
too,
yeah, that was
too
kinda-
far
yeah.
down the road.
Maybe not. There's a background track, but we'll see if we can find it. But this one, not as fun as the first one. First one was cool, just
The song?
Yeah.
They produced a lot of records. They produced about 2 a year.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've heard of them before. I just never really listened to them. See, they didn't fade off. They just dropped it. So we got... This is Am I the Kind of Man? Wow, that's a... Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say that. I thought that looks like 1 minute. The thing I've noticed on a lot of these albums is the fonts used are terrible.
The what?
The font.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to read these things.
Yeah, because it's like a white font on a light background, and you're like...
Well, it's not even... It's like a multicolored, like, teal stone. Like...
Yeah, it looks like the back of an exotic snake.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you probably can't see the details from the camera, but if you're trying to read this on it, it's almost like one of those like eye tests when you're colorblind, and you try to put white text on top of that, and that's pretty much what they did.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It's rude. It's pretty rude.
Yeah, graphic design might have not been high on their priority, but kudos to the cutouts of the musicians. Those are pretty clean, even by today's standards. You know, I'm a graphic artist by trade, and I would consider that a clean cut. But the text on top of the crazy background, no good. Hand-drawn painting on the front is badass. Yeah, badass. But it is kind of like the Wells Fargo looking. It's the logo. It's like the Wells Fargo logo. I will not put Wells Fargo up on.
So do we have some interlopers over here, like trying to?
Yeah, they're trying to rob them.
Steal the car?
That's the long hard ride. So you got to think. They're probably talking. These are frontiermen, right? So this is 1830s to 1850s ish when they're going west. There was no law. There was no police out there. We kind of stopped. You know, the civilization in America at that time was pretty much the Mississippi and the East. You know, Lewis and Clark kind of opened it up for everyone, and everyone just started moving out there. Most of the time, it was kind of crooks, thieves, and people just looking for a new life. And a lot of times, they got robbed. So you see a fancy coach like that with some of that luggage on top. What's on top of there, or is it?
Yeah, it looks like
Right.
It's a couple chests of some kind, you know. Like
so you moved out west. You're,
treasure.
all you got is your horse and maybe it's
6-round
shot. Yeah. And you're starving, and you see this fancy coach with some luggage on the back. Yeah, you gotta attack it. That's why shotguns sometimes are called like stage guns or coach guns, because that's what they use is like these double barrel shotguns. Because they always would fire one as a warning, and they'd always fire. That was the term: is fire one as a warning shot, and the other one kills them. So that shit was brutal back then. But yeah.
We live in such a baby world now.
What else do we got on the Marshall Tucker Band?
Well, I actually wanted to go on the reference of we've got such a baby world now. Technology, 1976, big year. Apple was formed.
Yeah.
It was the beginning.
Legendary. And Wozniak. Yeah.
Yeah, we had Apple.
Wozniak?
The other Steve.
Steve Wozniak.
The lesser known, literally the guy that built Apple. Like, he was the engineer.
I knew a guy when I lived in North Carolina named Marty Wozniak.
Any relation to Steve Wozniak?
I never picked his brain.
Yeah, so the story is Steve Wozniak was the one that was more into the technical side of it. Steve Jobs had a little bit of coding background, but he didn't necessarily know how to build from the guts up. So they kind of got together. Jobs was a little bit better of a pitchman, so he was kind of the frontman, which we all know with all his press releases and whatnots and his keynotes, where Wozniak was more than content to be the guy in the background actually building the computers and designing the architecture behind it. So it's kind of a weird pairing, but it's a great pairing between the two. Because it worked out because he had a genius in Wozniak who was able to build a product, and Jobs was the marketing genius behind it to sell it. So it's like
Wozniak still alive?
Oh yeah. He's still alive. He's out there. He's kicking. I don't know if he has anything to do with Apple right now because the whole there's a whole backstory, and you can watch the movies of Steve Jobs are out there, or you can just read the stories of Wozniak and why he left. But there was a little bit of bad blood here and there, but he still is at heart a Apple guy.
We got track 4.
This is track 4.
Walking the streets alone.
Oh, that's sad.
All right. Well,
Got
pretty similar vibe on every song.
Yeah.
What you got, Kayla?
couple devastating things around the world that happened in 1976, like China and Italy, both had earthquakes measuring 6.5 on the Richter scale, and killing, in China it said it killed 655,000 people just
Holy
in that
cow.
one earthquake.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's very devastating.
Holy shit, that's like over 500,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy. One earthquake.
655,000.
And didn't they just have like a 7 something
Yeah, not that long ago.
down south? Like, not south, but like near South America or something like that?
Well, there's actually been like a lot of recent activity.
Yeah.
Because I know like Mount St. Helens was in the news not that long ago. Not about like an earthquake or like erupted, but I guess more active than it has normally been. And we all know the story of like the Mount St. Helens is obviously here in America, but even around the world there's been higher activity of volcanoes. And there's always the fear of the one in Yellowstone. You know, that they say like it's a mega volcano, and they say if that goes off, pretty much we're fucked. They're saying like the blast radius will go from like Yellowstone like all the way to like Salt Lake City. So like 500 miles.
Sick.
So yeah, like we're here on the East Coast, we're in Massachusetts, and we would still be affected, like heavily impacted. Not to mention like the food sources and all that would change, and weather patterns would extremely change. But like this is like that would be like a world event. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well, something that was interesting that kind of goes along with this is, and I'm not sure it has anything to do with it per se, but in the Philippines, during that same time, there was a tidal wave that killed over 5,000 people in the Philippines. So it was the 2 earthquakes and then a tidal wave.
Yeah, they probably could have some relation to it.
Yeah, the tidal wave could have been a result of the earthquake.
Yeah, so it was kind of a devastating time. That was a...
When was the date of the tidal wave?
I haven't been able to pinpoint an exact date, but it was all within the summer, so I think it was all like
So
it was like July 28th was the earthquake in China, so all within that range. But Mother Nature,
Yeah,
not something to fuck with.
No.
Or it's fracking. Okay.
Yeah. On a happier note,
Yeah.
let's go happy.
Let's get happy before we go to side 2.
Yeah. Who knows what that's in the store?
The classic Rocky movie was released
Oh,
in
okay.
1976.
There we go.
And Rocky, it was released in December, and it earned over $200 million in the box office.
Wow.
And so now, I want to put that into perspective in a minute, but first talk about Rocky and what that kind of meant to you.
Rocky?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't mean anything to me at the time because I wasn't even conceived.
No, but everyone's seen it though. It's,
Yeah, I
that's
mean-
kind of on your movie
classic.
checklist. Yeah,
It's a classic.
You have to kind of watch that before you kind of watch any sports style movie. But
Classic tale of heart.
it's the David and Goliath kind of retelling in a sense, right? But yeah, Rocky was just the smaller competitor, but he just had heart. He went out there and he did what he did.
So they made 6 movies after that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rocky wasn't in all of them, technically. Like, the actual character of Rocky was in all of them, but not the Stallone fighter. Because, like, the later ones, he was a coach, and there's one with, like, Tommy Gunn, which was crap, which was, like, a cop-out to, like, just a Rocky name. But, yeah, that was, like, Sly Stallone's, like, first movie, right?
It was written by him.
Yeah, it was written and directed. Like, it was, like, his first, like his own movie, and he's a very good director, which people don't give him credit for. He doesn't make the best, like, artsy movie, but he makes movies that make money.
Are we flipping over?
We are. We're going to go to side 2.
It's time.
And on side 2, I want to give reference to the $200 million in the box office. So what did $200 million mean in 1976? So to put that into perspective for you,
Drop it.
the average house price was $12,700.
Whoa!
So you could buy a house for $12,700, and if you wanted to build your own house, your own brand new 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath on a large plot of land, it was $43,000 to build. But if you were to buy a house,
$43,000.
you have $12,700 if you were just gonna buy a house. So he made Rocky sold over 200 million. Gas was 59 cents a gallon.
So that dude was rolling, like, right away.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The average income was $16,000 a year.
Fuck, good for him.
Damn.
That's how he bought all that fucking HGH.
That's how he...
So the name of this track is Windy City Blues.
Wind City.
I think that's Chicago, right? It's gotta be. It's the Windy City, right?
Yeah.
It still has that
I
very
like Chicago.
southern side to
I
it.
mean, from the parts that I've been.
I've only driven through Chicago. Never really stopped there.
I'm not much of a meat eater anymore, but good hot dogs.
Did you get the famous Chicago deep dish?
No, I did not.
The one you gotta, like, eat with a fork. It's like this thick.
Yeah, that's too much bread and too much cheese for my liking now.
I'll tell you what, though, it's good.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
from the ones I've had, I've never been to Chicago to eat one, but
Yeah, all the stuff that'll kill you.
You know, who knows?
Tastes awesome.
that's true. Yeah, it is. We engineer food to kill us and taste great.
Who knows what they do?
What makes us happy, right?
Well, yeah, because when you're eating the food, it hits all those, like, happy endorphins,
Yep,
and you're like,
yep.
yeah, this is awesome, and that's what, like, they're saying, like,
That's how they get you.
it's the addiction. It hits the same receptors as, you know, if you were to do, like, cocaine. It's the same, like, sugars at the same receptors. Maybe not as much. I don't know. I'm not really sure about the science of that, but it's kind of similar in the way that
It
the brain
absolutely,
functions.
yeah, it absolutely is addicting.
Oh, it definitely gets you.
I know that I'd bust open a box of Cheez-Its There's a large chance that thing's not shutting before it's done, you know?
For me, it's the Tabasco Cheez-Its. Do they still make that?
The baskets of Cheez-Its?
Tabasco.
Oh, Tabasco. See,
It's like the
I'm more of a
spicy one.
pepper jack
Oh,
guy.
that spicy one.
The thing I like about the pepper jack Cheez-Its is that they don't have the powder on it for the flavor.
Yeah,
it's like
built in.
It's like baked into the cracker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? White cheddar, Tabasco, you know, cheddar jack, even like all those ones have the powder on it.
But I kind of like that because then it gets on your fingers and
Yeah, and
you
then
know,
at the end you're like, yep. Like
then-
there's so much on there that you have to use your teeth to get on.
No. But then afterwards you forget that it's on your finger and you go like rub your eye and it's all Tabasco.
Oh,
So
I
it's
never
like,
forget. That's like dessert for Cheez-Its, you know? Like,
I'm not really into the whole finger licking thing, but sometimes. But no, like sometimes you like kind of brush it off.
I don't wipe my ass and then do it, you know what I mean?
All right, that's enough.
Obviously, you don't do it if your hands are dirty.
but Two Guys and Some Records brought to you by Cheez-Its.
Yeah, can we get a sponsorship? I really want some Cheez-Its. Like,
I wanna know if Tabasco
I'm a
Cheez-Its-
lifelong fan, and I'll eat them till I die. Whether they kill me or not.
Yeah, come on, Cheez-It.
Come on, Sunshine, give me that sponsorship. All right, back to the music. We're still on...
Windy City Blues.
Yeah, this is a long one, huh? Oh, yeah, 4 minutes, 53 seconds.
This is like the 70s, man.
It's not radio friendly.
That classic rock.
Too long
length.
for the radio.
So you know, like when Led Zeppelin was always putting out like 7-minute songs.
Yeah,
Kind of like that era.
Well, what happened on the radio is that they would play a Zeppelin song and then they'd go to a commercial because they used
Come
all
back.
the airtime in that slot. Like,
Well, Freebird is like 9 minutes, I think.
yeah, they would
something
just
like
go
that.
to a commercial and come
9
back,
minutes.
and Freebird'd still be playing.
Or that was back when they actually had to physically manually do the thing, and then like the guy's like, you know what, I need a cigarette. Freebird goes outside,
Yeah.
smokes a cigarette, comes back. Or actually, they would just smoke in the studio, right? Back
Yeah,
then,
they
I don't
didn't
give
give
a
a shit
shit.
back then. They'd fishbowl that thing.
God, we need fucking jobs like that.
Wouldn't it be nice? Well, you know, if Two Guys with Some Records gets enough publicity,
Yeah, we need
if people
that.
like it enough.
We need that Cheez-It cheddar.
Yeah, come on, Cheez-It. I'll talk about Cheez-Its every episode. Every episode. And it'll be original every time.
It could be
Just give me
displayed on our beautiful
a
record
monthly
rack.
supply of Cheez-Its.
What does one consider a monthly supply?
A pallet.
In this house? A pallet? Like, just for me?
No,
Ooh.
Is it a box a day? Is it a half a box a day?
I'm not thinking daily. I'm thinking more like weekly.
All right.
So I'm
You're
gonna
not
go like,
requesting
give
a
me
lot.
10 boxes of Cheez-Its a
month.
week.
A
not
week?
No, not that I'm gonna eat all of them.
you just want them.
But like, it's like money, you know what I mean?
We throw-
You use some,
You
but
put
you
some in the
save
pantry.
some other. You know what I mean? I
never
want to
know.
build a savings of Cheez-Its.
I see.
Because the world is going to come to an end at some point, and I'm going to have a fucking stash of Cheez-Its so big that everyone's going to want to hang out in my bunker because I have all those Cheez-Its. Make it happen,
Yeah,
Sunshine.
we want enough
Make it
Cheez-Its that
happen.
we could fill like a room and Scrooge McDuck it.
I was just going to say, I want to Scrooge McDuck through Cheez-Its.
That's what we want. Make it happen, Cheez-It. Let's go. So this is actually the next track, right? So this is Holding On to You.
This one's got a similar sound to songs that I feel like I've heard before.
Yeah.
Who produced this one? Does it say?
George McCorkle.
Georgie McCorkle.
He might have been a sad fella.
That humdinger?
Because he also produced the Windy City Blues. He's a sad fella.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Georgie.
Guy.
Can we get a story on George McCorkle? George McCorkle is this fella right here with the sweet straw hat.
Well, he's no longer in the band.
Oh, poor Georgie. Now I feel
Off
bad.
to a bad start, George.
He was too sad, huh? He didn't kill himself, did he?
He died.
Ah, shit. From what?
Alright, cancer?
Cancer.
Cancer? Wow, that's still
Too
fucking sad.
many, not Cheez-Its, so.
No, Cheez-It does not.
cigs.
Cheez-It is a cure for
Too many
cancer.
rollies.
Rollies. Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he definitely smoked rolled cigarettes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Was lung cancer or throat cancer or whatever?
It didn't say.
No,
But
cancer's cancer, I guess. But.
yeah. He wrote. I guess one of his top hits was "Fire on the Mountain."
Oh, why don't we have that one? That one sounds cool.
People in California wouldn't think that was a cool.
Oh, burn.
He left the band in 1984.
Oh, all right, so he was around for a while then.
Continued to work as a songwriter after that, so he must have been done with the touring thing. Which, Chris,
Okay.
you probably have a feeling.
I can relate. I got you, McCorky.
McCorky.
Touring's hard, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's not easy, especially when you're not, making a ton of money.
And everyone thinks that usually you guys make a lot of money.
It's all hawking T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, it's all
merch.
like slinging
dick.
Slinging merch, slinging. Well, here's the thing: like, you can't just go on like record sales anymore because there's all the digital stuff. So you have to sell merch, and you have to sell T-shirts, and you have to sell CDs. And if your band isn't good, nobody's gonna buy that shit. So you have to be good, and you have to hustle.
Isn't that a good thing though?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's sick. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's like going to a new place every day, like seeing all these new places, meeting all these people.
Did you ever like forget, like, hello Cleveland, and like you're in Chicago?
Luckily, I was the drummer, so no, I never had to deal with that.
That ever happened? You ever see it?
No. Our singer was pretty good about knowing where the fuck he was.
Just look at your phone, like, oh, I'm in Cincinnati today.
Oh, but man, when I started touring, like there was like flip phones, like the Motorola Razr was like
sickest phone ever.
Was like the phone.
Sickest phone ever.
Yeah.
They didn't have the.
They need to remake the Razr. Just remake the Razr with a badass
and
touchscreen.
Original Snake.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a given.
I want it back. That and Cheez-Its. Bring it.
You could probably just download Snake on your smartphone.
Yeah, but it's gonna be some like Snake 7 or like Snake Plus or Snake Supreme, and it's gonna if you eat 2 apples within 3 seconds, you get another snake, and then it's just gonna be too much. Like,
let's see if you're right. I think he's actually right. You have an iPad right there. Just go to the App Store and just type in Snake in games and give me the first one. What it is?
It's gonna be like
Snake Supreme Plus.
Snake.
An evolved snake.
So this is You Say You Love Me. I kind of like the guitar in this.
Yeah, he's kind of repping into it.
Okay, we have the first one's called Snakey O.
See what I'm saying? Off to a bad start.
Second one's called Snake versus Block.
That's the stupidest name.
Now they do on the.
What's the highest rated one? See, I think you're right. I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to love playing a game back in the early 90s called Scorched Earth. And all it is like these tanks on a like ridge, and then you just kind of fire back and forth, but you get these different weapons. Like the 1.5 had like cool like weapons like that would go up and like spread and do things like that. So like now I play a game called Shell Shock Live. It's pretty much the exact same formats, the tanks and things like that, but it still wasn't quite as good as Scorched Earth back in the day. Yeah,
there's too much to it.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So Snake vs. Block is by far the best rated one on here and the most revisited.
There you go, Snake vs. Block. Download that and try it out.
Snake 97 retro phone style.
There you
The
go.
problem is it's really dumb because it has a picture of the phone.
It's the actual picture of the phone, and
What the fuck? Why would someone do that?
touching the buttons that you would touch.
That's completely and utterly stupid.
It's got 4.6
That's almost
stars.
a disrespect to the game Snake. It's not about the fucking dumb Nokia phone. It's about Snake.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
pretty dumb.
so upset. Can we contact the person who made that app and just heckle them, threaten them, and tell them that they're a degenerate?
No, that's just.
That they're a dumpster fire? They should be shot into space.
Why don't you just write a review?
That's a great idea.
There you go. So there you go. You can download Shit Snake. But no, Motorola make the damn Razor and make it like with the actual buttons, but the top screen is just all screen. It's 100% screen.
Yeah.
And make it touch screen like a regular phone, because it was about roughly that size. It's probably like a 4-inch screen.
You know, I also didn't mind I never had a sidekick, but like that style,
Yeah,
like
the
when the
flip up.
screen would
Yeah.
come up and you type
Yeah, but
on
that
the
was
keyboard.
like massively thick. It was.
Yeah, but I mean, the iPhone like 8 Plus is
Yeah, but it was also like the size of like an ice cream
this
sandwich.
record player. Like,
No, it's not that. Like my phone was like 5 inches at the Motorola. What the hell is it called? The Moto Z or whatever it is. I think it's called. It's the top line Motorola thing. It's like 5 inches. Slides in my pocket. You barely even know it's there. See, what is that? An iPhone 7?
I think.
Whatever. Yeah, it's like a 4.5-inch screen. Slides in your pocket. So the Motorola, the Razr, was like that thin, but it also had a screen that was fairly large. Maybe they make it full screen. I don't know. Just make it. I don't even know. Why are we even talking about cell phones?
I don't know. What's this song? The track
Boom.
changed.
It did. This is a sad
the last
title.
one?
This is it. This is a sad title.
We got You Don't Live Forever.
McCorkle. Is that written by McCorkle? The guy that had cancer?
No.
Well, this
Tommy
might
Caldwell.
Actually, yeah, this might be a thing because Tommy Caldwell actually did die.
Damn it.
He died, I believe, in a car accident.
No, really?
Yeah.
Wait, so he wrote this song and then
Tommy
when did he
Caldwell
die in the car accident?
Looks strangely like my buddy Jim's brother. And this other guy looks like my friend.
So wait, who's the one that died in
Oh,
the car
okay.
accident?
Nope. I'm getting. Sorry. Nope. Tommy wrote this song.
I need it.
Probably for his brother. His other brother. He had two brothers. One was Toy, and Toy's still in the band. He's a co-founder of the band and is still in it. And the other brother is Tim Caldwell, and he died in a traffic accident. It says 1 month before Tommy on March 29th.
What?
Yeah.
I'm just
Conspiracy. That's weird.
sending a very important message in the middle of this podcast. Don't worry.
We'll figure it out. But so wait a minute. So there was two brothers that died a month apart, both by car crash. Like Duke's brothers.
Yeah, he said
Dukes of Hazzard.
he died. Yeah,
Damn.
both brothers died. He died from severe injuries from a Jeep crash in 1980 at age of 30. And then Tim Caldwell, the other brother, died in a traffic accident 1 month before that.
So this song was actually written
Tim
before.
died first.
Yeah, this was 76 when this song was released.
Yeah.
So
So totally, maybe unrelated. Totally before.
it probably is, or maybe he's psychic.
Ooh. But anyway, that only leaves Toy Caldwell, which is the last remaining brother in the band.
No shit.
And can you put up a picture of Toy?
Yeah.
Oh, I sure can.
Which one is Toy?
He's got the O face,
So he's the last one.
which looks a lot like.
Wait. So who's Marshall Tucker then?
Yeah, that's a question that I had at the beginning, but I got distracted. Nobody in this band is named
No.
Marshall Tucker. Who's Marshall Tucker?
Where did you hear about Marshall Tucker?
That's the name of
That's
the
the
band.
name of the band.
Oh.
Are we doing the same show?
Yeah.
So we want to know who Marshall Tucker is from the Marshall Tucker Band.
That's a fantastic question.
It's probably something we probably should know, like it's some historical figure, but I don't know. Or maybe it's just a made-up name because it just kind of sounds southern. Marshall Tucker, kind of like Huckleberry Finn. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't have a lot of info on the band.
Is it no like Wikipedia?
I'm trying.
So what would you rate this record on a scale of
Give it like on a 1 to 10.
let's do Legos to colored pencils.
Legos being cooler, right?
Yeah.
Way cooler.
Okay.
But they're both colorful.
I'd go like a half sharpened colored pencil. You know, drawing the moat under the Lego bridge. So like a 5.
That's kind of cool. I would do Legos made into the form of a colored pencil. It was the first song there. You know what? Actually, can we flip this over? Give me that first track there. The Long Hard Ride. That first track is cool. I liked it. It was just instruments, right? It was instrumental. There was a little bit of lyrics, but it was like yelling in the background. But it had that awesome like Western like vibe to it. So like right away, like it just.
Okay. I've got this. You ready? The origin of the name. The Marshall Tucker
Band. Here we go.
Band's name does not refer to a band member, but rather the Spartanburg area blind piano tuner.
What? That's awesome.
Piano tuner. While the band was discussing possible band names one evening in an old warehouse they had rented for a rehearsal space, someone noticed that the warehouse door key had the name Marshall Tucker inscribed on it and suggested that they call themselves the Marshall Tucker Band, not realizing it referred to an actual person. Later, it came to light that Marshall Tucker is a blind piano tuner who had rented the space before the band, and his name was inscribed in the key.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I wonder if they ever like connected like.
Oh yeah, this is probably the hit track on this.
Oh, this is by far the best track. The rest of the record, I wouldn't say it's. I'm not gonna call it trash. It's not my type of music.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't really get my gears going.
No,
you know.
But this song is cool, especially with like the whips and stuff. And when you listen to this track, it literally looks in your head. It looks like this album cover, like perfect album art, right?
Yeah.
So I have a question. Yeah. This goes for about 75 cents. Now, for 75 cents, is it worth this one song?
Yeah, because if you were to buy it on iTunes, it'd be 99 cents.
75 cents?
For this song, it's cool.
It's literally pocket change.
True.
So yeah, you could buy this entire record for 75 cents versus buying one song for 99 cents on like iTunes or something.
True.
Right?
See? That's being frugal for you.
That's right. We're consumer advocates of records, apparently. So, I believe that's it.
This is the remix.
The remix. So, we got the rating in. This is a pretty good one. Well, for that one track alone, I like it. And I would say it's a buy that one track and you're good type of record for 75 cents. Would you agree? For 75 cents?
75 cents, totally worth it. Totally worth it.
All right.
Until next time.
Signing off.